real Kaifeng isn't something you see with your eyes alone. You have to listen with your ears.
If the treasure basin really is here, why are we still struggling?
The government banned Tong coins for everyone's own good.
But I worry they can't wait that long. The common people's lives don't matter to them.
If those armed with swords stand down, what chance do the unarmed have?
My kind hero, you're still so gullible.
I told you long ago, this won't end well.
Welcome back, Jianghu Wanderer, to the stories of Kaifeng. Life is no longer as simple as it was in Qinghe. Kaifeng shows how vast and tangled the Jianghu can be, from Han's old ties, to the political struggle over the treasure basin, to the golden leaf's tale that reveals the true meaning of Xia and the righteousness of the Jianghu. Tracing Han's letter about someone named Wen Wuque in Kaifeng, you leave Qinghe with a boatman. On the way, he warns you.
Back home, we watch out for one another. But out here, you gotta keep your wits about you.
But in a big city like Kaifeng, people fight tooth and nail for money, so you must look out for yourself. A simple warning from a simple boatman, who later turns out to be a very important figure in Kaifeng. Did you really think Aunt Han would let just anyone escort you into the Jianghu? Many in Kaifeng already knew you were coming, already waiting for you. You were simply too naive and too gullible to notice.
Don't give me that face. The 9 mortal ways will keep an eye out for Han Shengxin's whereabouts.
You know Aunt Han?
Naturally. You think I'd teach just anybody?
Even if you try to disguise yourself as a nobody, you still look exactly like what you are. A well-fed, well-dressed, countryside rich kid stepping into the big city for the first time. Naturally, the streets of Kaifeng see you as fresh prey. As expected, you immediately get robbed and stumble into trouble with the Unbound Cavern Gang, rivals of the 9 mortal ways. Just then, a god of wealth cat wearing the Wen family robe from Weiyang appears, and a life-buying coin drops from the shrine nearby. It mirrors the tale in Weiyang, where corpses are found with a coin beside them. Divine intervention? Not quite. Just a clever trick from a mischievous cat ear girl named Yingying, helping you escape. The Jianghu is vast. You never know when fortune, or a cat girl, will pull you out of trouble. Seeing your empty pockets, she even treats you to a meal. During the conversation, she notices the parting tears jar you're carrying. You sense something special about her, more than meets the eye. And you were right, because you get scammed. A classic tale. Country boy meets city girl. With no coin left to pay for the meal, you must either wash dishes for days or hand over your treasured parting tears jar as collateral, using borrowed money as seed funds to earn more. Yingying leaves you only a note with a half-drawn pancake, a classic symbol of false promises, yet also a lesson in trust and hope. With trust, anything becomes possible. A merchant's first lesson. Profit is built on trust and belief. Come on, young master. You brought up the pancake reference first. She simply used it.
Sounds made up to me. Like drawing a picture of bread and hoping it'll fill your stomach.
You must feel very dumb and furious right now. But here's the truth. Yingying had been waiting for you for 3 days and knew exactly who you were the moment she saw you. A clueless young master carrying a parting tears jar. Yes, she is Wen Wuque, the Ember of the East in disguise. She was expecting Aunt Han, but only you arrived. Seeing how naive you were, she decided to teach you your first lesson in surviving the Jianghu. After all, give a man a fish and he eats for a day. Teach him to fish and he eats for life. Of course, Yingying wasn't going to leave you stuck. She told you to buy grain at market price and sell it to the Dao Lord's grain shop for profit. The same Dao Lord who leads the 9 mortal ways. With help from old Jin, an old acquaintance from Qinghe, you find the shop, run by a small, clumsy shopkeeper named Little Fu. But something feels wrong. No matter how you look at her, this awkward 10-year-old doesn't resemble a servant of the mighty Dao Lord. And when she pays you, the coins are mixed, Song coins and Tang coins, just enough to guarantee you cannot buy back the parting tears. Another note from Yingying appears. She tells you the Jianghu is dangerous, you should give up and return to Qinghe. Don't go looking for Aunt Han anymore. This is for your own good. You are still too inexperienced for the dangerous plan they're carrying out. She truly underestimated your determination. Knowing Little Fu is Yingying's accomplice.
How can you bully a kid?
You return to reclaim the parting tears, only to learn it has already been sold. You might think Yingying took it, but no. Neither she nor you expected this twist.
Who bought it from you?
A well-dressed young man, and he wore a fine scent. Looked like someone from Velvet Shade.
A mysterious figure from Jianan, someone you will only understand at the very end of the Kaifeng chapter. With every trail now pointing toward Revering Hall, the heart of Velvet Shade, you force Little Fu to lead you to the heroic assembly hosted by none other than Wen Wuque. While leading you to the Revelry Hall, Little Fu lets you see the real Kaifeng. You spent your whole life peacefully in Heaven's Pier out in the countryside, knowing the capital only through tales, stories of prosperity, bright festivities, and a city that never seemed to sleep. But you never knew about the dark surge simmering beneath that glittering surface.
The real Kaifeng isn't something you see with your eyes alone. You have to listen with your ears.
Since the fall of the Tang dynasty, Kaifeng has changed hands 5 times. Each uprising came with slaughter, looting, and streets soaked in blood. Only the most recent Chen Xiao mutiny, which founded the Song dynasty, no raids, no massacre, thanks to the wisdom of Emperor Taizu of Song. Yet peace did not last. It was soon followed by crippling inflation caused by the flood of Tang iron coins still circulating. The Song dynasty, only 2 years old, barely produced enough copper coins to stabilize the market. As you saw in Tianying's story, when the last emperor Chai Rong confiscated copper Buddha statues to make more currency, the Song now does the same. But no matter how hard they tighten control, they cannot keep up with the endless stream of Tang iron coins pouring into Kaifeng.
The more coins get minted, the less they're worth.
I'd count myself lucky with just 15 coins. Who cares where they come from?
Sao copper coins are scarce. Tang iron coins are cheap, plentiful, and convenient for common folk. This is a scheme of the Southern Tang, Jiangnan's hidden blade. By flooding Song territory with iron coins, they aim to rock the Song economy from within and slow the empire's march southward. This puts the Song court in a brutal dilemma. Use their limited copper reserves to buy back Tang coins and protect the economy, or commit those resources to the Southern campaign. Either to seize the chance for unification, the court chooses the harsh path, confiscating Tang coins from the people without compensation. A sacrifice of the small for the so-called greater good. For ordinary citizens, life becomes unbearable. Their only spendable assets are taken away. Shops falter. Trade stalls. Life in commercial areas for common people like Southgate Avenue has become unbearable. People resort to dirty dealings or sabotage one another. Some even abandon or sell their children. Beggars and those seeking day labor swarm the streets. The poor and homeless suffer the most. What do inflation or unification mean to those who cannot even feed their children or secure a warm place to sleep? Under the iron grip of Lord Shi, Kaifeng's magistrate, imperial soldiers search homes relentlessly and punish anyone caught with Tang coins. The city is pushed to its breaking point. As a response to the people's suffering, Jianghu chivalry rose to fight back. Yingying, her true name, Wen Wuque, once the head of the wealthy Wen family of Weiyang in the south, bore the title the Ember of the East. She was forced to flee north to Kaifeng. She struck a secret bargain with Southern Tang, seeking their aid not only to one day reclaim Weiyang, but also to ease the suffering of Kaifeng's. She orchestrated a daring scheme, the Treasure Basin Plan. Disguised as a miraculous artifact offered by Southern Tang as tribute to the Song court, the Treasure Basin was presented as a solution to the empire's coin shortage. Through meticulously prepared illustrations and the illusion arts of Velvet Shade, the basin appeared to pour forth endless gold whenever a hand reached inside.
I shall judge that for myself.
Wonderful! Gold-making vessel!
Then, with carefully timed explosions, the basin was stolen. and every planted clue pointed squarely toward the 9 mortal ways. The basin's supposed miracle, and its theft, unfolded before the eyes of many revered Jianghu figures. Yet this was never meant to deceive the Jianghu alone. It was a grand political performance, staged for men of power, such as Magistrate Shi and Kaifeng's prefect Zhao Guangyi, while rumors of the treasure basin spread rapidly among the common people.
Is this about the government handing out money?
I heard the same. That if you sing the Song of Mercy, they'll give you coins from the gold-making vessel.
The purpose was clear: to use the people's voices to force the Song Court to release funds to ease the coin crisis, to drain reserves meant for military expansion, and to buy time, delaying the Song's southern campaign. Every figure present at the heroic assembly was part of this design. The 9 mortal ways, Velvet Shade, the Master of Grains, Jim Ming Pool, and even Aunt Han. Each acted for their own reasons. Each stood to gain something. Unfortunately, you were unknowingly entangled in this scheme, forced into its investigation, another pawn caught in Kaifeng's endless web of shadows. Velvet Shade's girls are as beautiful as celestial flowers, but every petal hides a thorn in the shadows. Their revelry hall became the perfect stage for this plan, and of course, they had their own stake in it. The Velvet Shade sect originated in the southern Tang, Jiangnan, and maintained a special bond with that kingdom. Naturally, they assisted in crafting the treasure basin scheme, but their true motives went far deeper. After the Orient Pavilion attacked Blissful Retreat, they recovered a mechanical box containing a list of spies embedded within the Khitans, along with a Yin-inscribed booklet required to decode it.
After the Great Fire at Heaven's Pier, both the mechanized box containing the list and the Yin-inscribed booklet that deciphers it fell into the hands of the Jiangnan state.
But if the Chitans really get hold of that list, what will happen to Aunt Han and the righteous warriors up north?
If these items ever reached Khitan hands, the fates of those spies and Aunt Han would be sealed. The Southern Tang intended to offer this list to the Khitans to repair relations after Tianying assassinated their envoy. Fortunately, the Southern Tang envoy carrying the Yin-inscribed booklet was an admirer of Ruolan and would unquestionably attend the heroic assembly just to see her. As a high-class courtesan house frequented by officials and envoys, it was an intelligence network. And they had calculated everything. They wanted the booklet, but they could not kill the envoy themselves without damaging relations with Jiangnan. So Velvet Shade orchestrated a sequence of events that appeared completely natural. You were lured into the revelry hall by their flower messenger, Bai Rong. Then Zhou Qiang, the Velvet Shade's leader, the same beauty who once danced with you, handed you a letter revealing the envoy's visit to Nimbus Tower. When you arrived, the envoy was already delirious from 5 minerals powder. You had no choice but to strike him down. You found the booklet and destroyed it, believing you had protected Aunt Han and the embedded spies. Then you collapsed, overcome by the knockout incense lingering in the room. With this perfectly executed plan, the Velvet Shade succeeded in borrowing your blade, letting a wandering Jianghu swordsman kill the envoy in their place, preserving their ties to Jiangnan. Whether the booklet was truly destroyed or not, only they know. They placed it exactly where you would find it, after all. And in the Jianghu, every secret can become a weapon. But why would the girls of Velvet Shade sabotage this plan of Southern Tang, the land where their sect originated? Or are they also working as double agents for the song? Maybe it's not that simple. The girls speak of someone in Jiangnan, known for kindness and innocence, someone connected to Velvet Shade's reader, Zhou Qiang. This person cherishes peace and beauty, and of course, does not want another war to break out. The Orient Pavilion, though originating from Southern Tang, does not represent Southern Tang's will. Perhaps the reason Velvet Shade joined this plan is simply to prevent a war, or at least delay it as long as possible. After all, beautiful flowers like them can only bloom in times of peace. Looks like ever since you set foot in Kaifeng, you've been tricked non-stop. First by a cat-eared girl, then by the entire heroic assembly, and then by the beautiful sisters of Velvet Shade. And fear not, while investigating the 9 mortal ways, you'll even be tricked by children. Not 1 child, 3. the mighty Dao Lord of the 9 mortal ways, the monstrous figure with 3 rat heads and 6 arms, is in truth 3 triplet girls, barely 10 years old. Their so-called father trained them to fight under the name Chen San, forcing them to masquerade as a deformed, rat-headed beast in the blood pits. Their unnatural body and unpredictable movements made them an invincible demon. But to an illusion master like Shui Cho, their disguise was paper thin. Still, he knew these children were fighting only to survive. When he delivered his final palm strike, one of the girls shut her eyes, quietly accepting death. Instead of landing the blow, his palm stopped beside her cheek, then turned over to reveal a red-wrapped candy. That is Elder Shui Cho, the true master of the 9 mortal ways, strategist to generations of Dao Lords. He threw the match, let Chen San win, and safeguarded the triplets' secret. A mysterious, grotesque Dao Lord made the perfect phantom leader, while the real mastermind walked freely among the crowds, gathering information unseen. He later bought the children from their father, a man who abandoned them the moment their weakness was exposed. As they left the blood pit, fireworks burst in the sky for New Year's Day. Shui Cho gave the triplets new names: Fu Lu Shou, happiness, prosperity, and longevity, blessing for a new beginning. Just like Yingying, Elder Shui Cho already knew exactly who you were, the young master of the blissful retreat, and knowing that the mechanical box containing the spy list had fallen into Khitan hands, he deliberately guided you straight into their territory, letting you steal it back for him.
That's a coded message. You need a special book just to figure out what it says. Since they couldn't deliver Tianying's head, they're using this as a stand-in to show they're serious about teaming up.
With the Yin inscribed booklet held by Velvet Shade, and the spy list reclaimed by the 9 mortal ways, Aunt Han and the undercover spies within the Khitans were finally safe. Shui Cho even taught you a bit of lightness skill, promising to watch over Aunt Han's whereabouts and safeguard her box.
Don't give me that face! The 9 mortal ways will keep an eye out for Han Shen's whereabouts.
You know Aunt Han?
Naturally. You think I'd teach just anybody?
Of course, both pieces of secret intelligence also serve his own interests. A true mastermind indeed. As you investigate the stolen treasure basin, all clues seem to point toward the 9 mortal ways. But why would they want to be suspected? The answer lies in an old festering feud with the Unbound Cavern. 9 mortal ways deliberately lures the authorities into the Ash Pit.
My lord, she flew toward the Ash Pit. Shall we give chase?
Where they can witness the horrors of the Ghost Revelry Hall, the slave market run by the Unbound Cavern. 15 years ago, during the Khitan occupation of Kaifeng, 9 mortal ways was born under Zhu Yusheng and became a pillar of the resistance. But a rift formed when Hongxi's parents were kidnapped. Ransom demands followed. Zhu's followers argued that the fate of the entire city could not bend for the sake of 2 lives. That sacrifice was necessary. Hongxi called it betrayal. In rage, he betrayed them. Many 9 mortal ways fighters died because of him. After the war, he founded the Unbound Cavern, a refuge for outcasts, criminals, and the desperate. When the coin crisis struck, the Unbound Cavern preyed ruthlessly on the starving. They scammed, kidnapped, and forced the helpless into the Ash Pit. Widow Zhao's husband was one of their victims. Driven by desperation as 10 coins collapsed, he entered the pit seeking food and never returned. Yet, the 9 mortal ways remained focused on easing the people's suffering.
Those afraid to use Tang coins outside can exchange them here for food.
In a world where Tang coins are worthless, the ghost market run by the 9 mortal ways still accepts them, giving the poor one last lifeline. Using the treasure basin theft as a cover, they secretly return Tang coins to the destitute of the Forsaken Quarter. Through ghostly rumors and subtle tricks, such as incense money mysteriously turning into Tang coins, they give the poor something to survive on. When a family has only days before starvation, what does inflation matter? What difference does it make which coin is legal?
When there's no food, even bran can fill you up. When life feels hopeless, even a fake treasure basin can bring real hope.
Even 10-year-old children understand this simple truth. So why can't the Imperial Court? Why is it that everyone you meet in Kaifeng seems to be hiding something, never daring to reveal their true self? Perhaps the only exception is Big Zhao, the man who recognized Uncle John's nameless sword at a glance, and who once served as a soldier himself. Whenever Big Brother Zhao is mentioned, the people of Kaifeng speak of him with genuine admiration. Whether friend or stranger, anyone facing hardship needs only to speak his name, and Big Zhao will do everything in his power, using his countless connections to help resolve the problem.
My friend knows everything, from the stars above to the earth below. The know-it-all of Kaifeng, Master Pu.
When asked how he commands such influence, he simply smiles and offers no answer. Who is this big, friendly man, really? Why does he personally know the Grand Chancellor himself? Few could ever imagine the truth. He is none other than Emperor Taizu of Song himself, walking the city in disguise. Not to seek praise, but to feel the lives of the people just beyond the imperial walls. After witnessing the forced confiscation of Tang currency in the Forsaken Quarter, he began to notice truths he had never seen before.
Wow! Big Zhao! You got the most Tang coins!
Too many Tang coins floating about the city, and especially around here.
The edict to collect Tang coins was not issued solely for the sake of unification. It was also meant to shield the people of Great Song from losses caused by the unstable value of Tang currency.
The government banned Tang coins for everyone's own good. The more coins get minted, the less they're worth.
I'd count myself lucky with just 15 coins. Who cares where they come from?
The intent was for the greater good. Yet as chaos spiraled beyond control, buried beneath layers of negligence and distance within the court, that good intent became unrecognizable. What do inflation or unification mean to those who cannot even feed their children or secure a warm place to sleep? How many hidden schemes, how many unfathomable hearts lay between decree and reality? What was meant to protect the people instead stripped them of their livelihood? Kaifeng is the city where the emperor resides, yet it is a place where survival itself is a struggle. If life here is already so bitter, what of the lands beyond? Emperor Taizu was a ruler who took power without bloodshed, ending the cycle of massacres and raids that had plagued Kaifeng time and again. But true wisdom lies not only in how a throne is claimed, it lies in staying close to the people, in walking among them, in listening to their pain, recognizing mistakes, and being willing to correct them. That is the emperor the people deserve.
When the wars end, life will get better.
Perhaps. But I worry they can't wait that long.
Confiscating the coins or not, it's not my place to say. But I do know one thing. Someone must die.
Yes! No matter what happens to the coins, someone must die.
And young master, the reason Kaifeng feels like a city of lies and deception is simple. You have been seeing, but not listening. Do as little Fu and Brother Zhao do. Listen to their stories. Listen to their suffering. Only then will you truly see the real Kaifeng. The world never knew that the Lord of Weiyang City, the Ember of the East, was never taught the Wen family's art of commerce. Even the name Wen Wuque was not given to her. It was a name she chose for herself. She was not the daughter of Wen Tao, the head of the city. She was the illegitimate child of his younger sister. Ashamed of the scandal, Wen Tao hastily married his sister to a household servant. Granted status he did not earn, the man turned cruel, venting his bitterness on the child who carried none of his blood. Yet from the very beginning, she possessed an unyielding will. The more she was scorned, the deeper her resolve burned. She bound her hair, dressed as a boy, and swore that no one would ever travel her or her mother again. She endured humiliation, scraped and clawed her way upward, until she stood beside Wen Tao himself. There, in Weiyang City, she learned a merciless truth. To stand at the top, one must devour others, and whoever devours the most becomes the master. Wealth could turn people into monsters.
At first, they eat away your mind, your heart. Then, they devour everything that makes you human, leaving only the beast inside.
She crushed the rightful heir, Wen Wuhen, and rose as young Lord Wuque. Rumors followed her like shadows. Today she laughed and drank with you. Tomorrow she took your head along with your fortune. Corpses stacked behind her ascent, each sealed with a coin meant to buy a life. As long as she continued to win, fear had no place in her heart. But when Wu Hen, stripped of everything, had nothing left to lose, she took his relatives hostage and killed them. In return, when Wu Hen seized her mother, forced to choose, she found her blade trembling. When Wu Hen laughed at her hesitation. Without the courage to sever your own arm, how can you rule Weiyang City? She closed her eyes and waited for death. Instead, she heard the sound of flesh tearing. Her mother had thrown herself onto the blade. Her meridians were shattered, her martial arts reduced to nothing. How she escaped, she no longer remembered. When she awoke, there was chanting. In a ruined room, an old woman knelt on the floor, praying to the Buddhas to spare her daughter's life, clutching her hand and calling her name softly, Yingying. In that moment, when Wuque understood that what is lost can never be reclaimed, she only wanted to be Yingying. She collapsed into the woman's arms. In the darkness, they were like two shattered pieces of jade, broken, scarred, yet fitting together perfectly at last. In Weiyang City, merchants believed that fear, greed, and weakness were the greatest treasures, and when Wuque once lived by that creed. When Kaifeng panicked over the rise of Zhao Yin, she exploited that fear. Knowing a massacre was unlikely, she spread false rumors through the Unbound Cavern gang, planning to buy fleeing citizens property at dirt-cheap prices and profit once order was restored. She believed this fortune would repay Granny Turtle, the old woman who saved her life, and perhaps even allow her return to Weiyang City. But Granny Turtle also believed the rumors and sold everything in terror. From her broken words, Wen Wuque learned the truth.
The massacre started. Yingying! Where's my Yingying? Please!
Mother, don't worry. I'm right here.
Don't take me for a fool. You're not Yingying. Yingying, where are you?
Mother, you're confused again. Let me help you back to bed.
Granny Turtle's daughter, Yingying, died 11 years ago in a massacre carried out by the Khitans. Heartbroken after losing her son in battle and then her daughter as well, she gradually lost her sanity. She mistook any young girl she met for Yingying until she encountered Wen Wuque, wounded and helpless on the streets of Kaifeng, looking exactly like her daughter had before her death. After the false rumors Wen Wuque spread that day, she watched refugees flee Kaifeng, fighting over scraps of food. Only then did Wen Wuque finally understand the true price behind the so-called treasures that the merchants of Weiyang City spoke of. Broken and exhausted, she resigned herself to a quiet life, selling small handmade crafts on the streets. Among struggling street vendors, Wen Wuque discovered a different meaning of commerce. Merchants did not only create suffering, they could also solve problems, bring goods to those in need, and smooth the balance between supply and demand. For the first time, she realized that profit did not require cruelty. The world already had more than enough problems waiting to be solved. Slowly, life returned to her. She even saved a wounded kitten and named it Yuan Bao, and through these small acts of kindness, found a joy she had never known. Granny Turtle made Yingying a cat ear hat, so she would no longer be stared at for her golden hair. The feared Ember of the East became a beloved street vendor girl, living in poverty but content. For a time, Wen Wuque believed this simple life was enough, but the world would not allow peace to last. As coin confiscation policies and growing chaos threatened even this fragile stability, Wen Wuque made her choice. One moonlit night, resting her head in Granny Turtle's lap, she thought of a final venture, not for profit, but to save the city, and thus the Treasure Basin Plan was born. Unfortunately, the plan to ease the suffering in Kaifeng met a major obstacle, a direct order from the prefect of Kaifeng, Zhao Guangyi, the younger brother of the reigning emperor, Zhao Kuangyin. He believed that the confiscation of Tang coins without compensation was necessary for the greater good, and he delegated the entire task to Magistrate Lord Shi. Zhao Guangyi's disregard for the people's suffering gave free rein to the magistrate's notorious brutality. Harsh confiscations and severe punishments against those who resisted not only worsened the people's misery, but also severely damaged the court's image in the eyes of the populace. As it turned out, this magistrate was not a stranger to Yingying at all.
You... Have we met before?
Die!
He had once been a merchant in Weiyang City, but bankruptcy reduced him to a homeless beggar, fighting stray dogs for scraps of food. One day, he battled through a mob to seize a jade pendant tossed aside by the Ember of the East, Yingying herself, back when she was still an arrogant lord blinded by wealth. Clinging to the humiliation of seeing her laugh that day, he swore to restore his fortune at any cost. He later became a pawn of Wen Wuhe, the very man who had harmed Yingying and caused her mother's death. Yet even then, Wen Wuhe looked down on him. Consumed by resentment, he eventually stole Weiyang City's secret martial manuals and bargained with the Orient Pavilion. Assuming two new identities, the mystic supervisor of the Orient Pavilion and the magistrate of Kaifeng, he secretly replaced the real magistrate. Through this deception, he worked from within to undermine the Song Court on behalf of the Orient Pavilion. Now, young master, you have seen why the people of Kaifeng must hide their true selves to protect themselves from unseen hands in the dark, and you have begun to hear their silent cries. What will Uncle John do? What will Yi Dao do? And what will Tianyin do? You are starting to understand what Xia truly means in the Jianhu legends.
Confiscating the coins or not, it's not my place to say. But I do know one thing. Someone must die.
And to see the thin line between the so-called greater good and what the people actually need.
For the greater good, small losses must be borne. Fixating on a single leaf blinds one to the whole forest.
A single leaf.
So what will a nameless fledgling Jianghu hero choose to do? Answer the call of the people. Answer it with Xia, with righteousness, so that those in power may finally see. It is the people's trust that raises them high. And it is that same trust that can bring everything crashing down. Profit can be born from illusion, and fortune can be born from trust, just as the people's trust can become the true treasure of a nation.
Though the people are silent, true heroes shall be their voice.
I told you long ago, this won't end well. Then the government stepped in.
Wait, wouldn't that make things worse for the heroes?
How could that be? The government definitely stands with the people.
The Song Court answered the people's pleas that day, halting the confiscation policy and earning their trust. This became the stepping stone that led for the first time in history to the creation of paper money by the Song dynasty.
If copper can be money and iron can be money, then maybe paper can be money too.
Though no one knows who the nameless hero was, it does not truly matter. True chivalry does not require being a great warrior or someone who changes the course of history. Even a single person standing up for others and creating a small but meaningful change is enough to be called righteous. One need not have a face or a name. Sometimes, the story of that righteousness alone is enough to inspire people to change for the better, like a single leaf becoming the hope of a dying tree. The people of Kaifeng only know that a hero stood up for them that day. That was enough for the story to become immortal, urging generations to believe in change. Like Granny Turtle, every coin she had treasured over the years carried her pain and tragic past. The coin her mother gave her when she was sold away. The coin her husband kept for their daughter before giving his life fighting the invaders. The coin paid as compensation for her son's death in war. Yet she agreed to trade them all for the new money, leaving sorrow behind and choosing to believe in a better, peaceful future. The people too, scarred by years of war and disaster, bearing countless wounds of the past, were ready to move on, to believe in change once more, once they found a reason to trust again.
Mother!
But, young master, the heroic stories of Kaifeng go far beyond what we have seen. No one knows your name in the tale of your deeds there, just as the stories of the Jianghu warriors who once passed through this city before you were all real. The dark surge of Kaifeng once again raises a difficult question. How much is the so-called greater good truly worth, when weighed against sacrifice, unjust deaths, betrayal, and misplaced hatred? These are the truths we will uncover in the next chapter.